Breaking news from Starbase, Texas. SpaceX has officially confirmed that Starship Flight 11 is set to launch as soon as Monday, October 13th at 6:15 p.m. Central Time. And this isn't just any routine flight. According to SpaceX, this is the final flight of Block 2 hardware, with Booster 15-2 and Ship 38 stepping into the spotlight. But here's the twist. What happens on this mission could define how the next generation of Starship, Block 3, flies in the future. So what exactly is going down? Why is this mission different? And why are SpaceX fans calling this the most important test since Flight 4? Stick with me, because the story behind Flight 11 is as wild as the rocket itself. You see, Flight 11 is not just about going up, staging, and coming back down. No. This time, SpaceX is deliberately pushing the limits of both the booster and the ship, almost like a stress test before retiring this block of hardware. Imagine a Formula One car being driven flat out, just to see where it breaks. That's what Flight 11 is for Starship.
And here's the kicker. SpaceX won't even try to catch the booster this time. Instead, it'll perform a radical new landing burn with 13 engines roaring at once, before splashing into the Gulf of Mexico. Why would they risk all this? Well, that's where the story really gets exciting. Before we dive deeper, if you're as obsessed with Starship as I am, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because I'll be covering the launch live and breaking down every milestone as it happens. You don't want to miss what could be one of the most dramatic tests yet. Let's rewind for a moment. The star of this mission is Booster 15-2. If the name sounds familiar, that's because this is the same booster that flew on Flight Test 8 with Ship 34, where it was successfully caught by the giant tower arms, the famous Mechazilla chopsticks. That catch made history because it was only the third time SpaceX had ever pulled it off. Now Booster 15-2 is back, but this time SpaceX is taking it to the absolute limit. Every single one of its 24 Raptor engines is reused, flight-proven. Think about that for a moment. A few years ago, the idea of reusing Falcon 9 engines more than once was mind-blowing. Now SpaceX is already stress-testing reused Raptors on the largest rocket ever built. That's how fast things are moving.
But here's where it gets insane. Instead of the usual landing sequence, lighting 3 engines, throttling down to 1, and then shutting off, this booster will fire up 13 engines all at once for the initial landing burn. From there, it transitions to 5 engines during the divert phase, and finally drops down to the 3 center engines for a controlled hover just above the water. If even one of those transitions goes wrong, if the engines don't light properly, or if control falters for even a few seconds, the booster could lose stability and tumble into the Gulf. And SpaceX knows this. They're doing it anyway. Why? Because the data is priceless, and the payoff could redefine Starship landings forever. And hey, if you're still watching right now, you're clearly just as deep into this as I am. Do me a favor, give this video a like. It helps more people find these updates and keeps me fueled to cover every second of Starship's journey. Now let's talk about Ship 38, because its role in Flight 11 is just as daring. This vehicle will be put through brutal re-entry tests, including one very unusual detail. Engineers have intentionally removed some heat shield tiles. That's right. They're going to let Ship 38 re-enter with gaps, just to see how the structure handles localized heating.
It sounds crazy, but it's exactly the kind of data SpaceX needs if they want to make Starship ready for Mars and beyond. On Mars, there's no room for error, so knowing how the ship behaves when tiles fail could be the difference between mission success and disaster. Ship 38 will also attempt banking maneuvers during descent, simulating what a return to launch site trajectory might look like. In other words, it's practicing for the day when Starship can launch from Texas, orbit the Earth, and then come right back down at the same pad. Of course, there is a real risk here. If the heating overwhelms the ship's structure, or if the banking maneuvers induce too much aerodynamic stress, Ship 38 could fail spectacularly. And remember, it won't be recovered. Just like the booster, Ship 38 is headed for a controlled splashdown, this time in the Indian Ocean. But between launch and splashdown, it has one job. Give engineers the hardest, most punishing data possible. Quick reminder, SpaceX will stream this mission live, and I'll be reacting and analyzing every stage. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss the chaos when those 13 engines light up at once. Trust me, you'll want to hear that roar.
So why go through all this trouble? The short answer, Block 3. This mission is essentially a send-off for Block 2. After Flight 11, SpaceX will move fully into Block 3 vehicles, beginning with Ship 39 and Booster 18. Block 3 is expected to carry all the lessons learned from these stress tests, including new landing burn profiles, refined thermal protection, and upgraded avionics. In a way, Flight 11 is the final exam. If it passes, or even if it fails in spectacular fashion, the telemetry will shape how Block 3 is designed, tested, and flown. That's the beauty of SpaceX's philosophy. Every test, win or lose, moves the program forward. And that's why October 13th is circled in red on every space fan's calendar. Will Booster 15-2 pull off the most complex landing burn ever attempted? Will Ship 38 survive re-entry with missing tiles? Will SpaceX nail the upper stage banking maneuvers that could one day bring Starship home to its launch site? No one knows, but whatever happens, we'll be watching history unfold. If you're as hyped as I am for Flight 11, smash that like button and share this video with your fellow space nerds. Subscribe right now so you're ready when I go live on launch day. Together, we'll witness whether SpaceX closes the book on Block 2 with triumph or with a fiery lesson learned.